So y'all got me fired from my job.
You're fired. Get out. You're fired.
So I've lost my job.
You're fired. Get out. You're fired.
Fired from my fucking job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my fucking job.
You're fired. Get out. You're fired.
So I was just fired from my job.
You're fired. Get out. You're fired. You're fired. Get out. You're fired.
Another one bites the dust. The cancellation of Democrats in progress.
You're fired. Get out. You're fired.
Meet Haley Curdell, a 911 dispatcher from Nashville, Tennessee.
You're fired. Get out. You're fired. You're fired. Get out. You're fired.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Yo boy. The world we live in, man. We're living in some dark, sick times. But I tell you what, you are going to round and find out. In this video right here, it might warm your heart a little bit. You might get a little bit of joy out of this video. It's a disgrace to see what has taken place the last couple of days with tons of you individuals. Tons of you inhumane folks. Deranged, hateful, evil. And right now it is good versus evil. And like I told y'all, I was going to bring a video like this. There's been tons of folks who have been fired from their employers. And they effed around and found out because they want to celebrate and mock a man's death. And it just, I hate that has to come out my mouth and I have to repeat that, but that's the times that we're living in, man. They have no empathy for the wife, the kids. They have to go back and one day relive this moment. You know, there's so many conspiracy theorists out there, people that say they're the experts. This happened, this is taking place. You know. Just sick, man. On a live for his rights, his freedom of speech, his opinions, his beliefs. And a lot of the stuff he was talking about hurt people's feelings because it was the truth. The truth, the gospel. Even if I disagree with you, I don't believe you should, there shouldn't be any violence involved. Let's debate it out. Let's hug it out. It's one love to the human race. I love you guys, man. And I hate to see what is taking place, you know, and all this same rhetoric, fear-mongering, gaslighting, especially coming from the media, the left. It's a disgrace. Every single day you wake up and hear fascist, Nazi, Hitler, threat to democracy, dictator. Putting fear in people's hearts, man. It is sick. But a lot of these people, folks, that effed around and find out. If you're this hateful, you should have just kept it to yourself. But you want to take it to social media, to your Facebook pages, your TikToks, your Instagrams. Yeah. Guess what? Your family, friends, people around you, people that see they're not going for it. People are not going for it. And they are calling it in. They are reporting you. They are finding where you work. Yeah, they're finding that job. They're finding what you got going on in your life. People are not playing around, man. People have put politics aside. They put all this aside because millions, billions of people seen that video. And it hurts me just rethinking of that video again. Let's jump in.
Comments. I made some stupid comments about Charlie Kirk on the day that he was shot. I said some things on Blue Sky and on Threads that I'm sorry, not sorry for, but I said them and I deleted them when it was requested that I do so by my employer. And then today, on a weekend, I'm told that I am no longer employed at Microsoft. After 6 years, building the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Department from scratch, I lose my job because one of you, some random person, reports my posts to my employer, goes out of their way to find out where I work and takes my job, takes my security away from me for a thought.
Good job, Microsoft. He says, I'm sorry, not sorry. We're among some of the worst people, man. The worst people. And I pray y'all find that love somewhere, man, in your heart. That this love reaches you. I really do, man. That this love reaches you.
For an opinion, and you talk about freedom of speech like you care about it, and you're just going to take my money, my life, my food off my plate because I don't like Charlie Kirk? That's not okay. It is not okay to target me because I felt joy that day. I can't help how I feel. I felt joy. That's me. That's what I believe.
Need help. You need help. People like this need help. There are, guess what? Tons of people that didn't like Charlie Kirk, sir. But they still came out. And this next clip I'm going to show, this was a Democrat activist who hated Charlie Kirk's guts. And he always called Charlie out. He always called Trump out and everything. And you know what? I'm gonna show you this video, and he broke down crying. There were tons of people that disagreed with Charlie. Tons. And there was tons and millions and millions and billions of people that did agree with Charlie globally, that loved Charlie, and said that Charlie was the truth. He spoke the truth. But the ones that even disagreed, they put everything aside. Everything aside. You know, nobody's asking you to mourn, but at least be respectful. Y'all have no respect. Y'all are inhumane. No thought for humanity, nothing. And then the first thing, y'all, when it goes down like this, but that's my freedom of speech. That's my, same ones asking for the president to be unalived and assassinated. Same ones posting 8647. Same ones burning the American flag.
That's what I think of him. I can't help that. So I don't deserve a job? I made some...
This is that clip I want to show you guys, and it went viral so many places. one of the biggest advocates against, Charlie Kirk, and the Republican Party, huge Democrat activist, Dean Withers, and he shocked and blowed up the internet, with this one right here. And I want you guys to just check this out. Let me know what you think about it.
His kids don't deserve that, man. His wife and children were in attendance, dude. Imagine, imagine being a 12-year-old, watching your dad die. Nobody deserves that. Not even Charlie Kirk. Nobody deserves that.
Damn. Sorry, y'all. I don't know, man. I'm good. I'm fine. I feel amazing, man. I'm at peace. I don't know. It's just like something in my brain or something. It triggers me, man, and it's just tears just start coming out automatically. I apologize, family. It's just something. I don't know. Ever since I lost my dad, man, it's just something that makes me cry, and I just can't. The tears just come out. I can't stop it. I'm sorry. I can't help it. But let me know what y'all think of that, man. That is a Democrat activist who was against Charlie Kirk. That shows a huge point. And this speaks. You can't even fathom it. Let's jump into more clips. There's this guy and a mother. They have like a whole group now, and it's even viral all over TikTok of them going and make an example out of all these people who said disgusting comments on their social media pages, on their Facebooks, and a lot of these people have been fired. And you could see all the people in the comments are bringing updates. Like Kendra James was also fired from Samsung. That's one of the ladies that went viral, and she got fired from her Samsung job of what she said and celebrating and mocking the death of Charlie. But so many people are being made an example out of. Teachers, we seen the lady that worked at the hospital fired effective immediately. I mean, let me know what y'all think. Let's check this out though.
Hi, my name is Quinn Pratt, and I like going on the internet and finding people who like to make fun of Charlie Kirk's death, and I let their employers know what they're up to online. And we got 7 more confirmed fires. But before we get into this, I want to make sure everybody completely understands what I'm doing here. This is absolutely not political for me. This is not a political thing. It is a moral thing. I really don't care who you decide to vote for or really care what your beliefs are. That is your decision as an American. But what we should all agree on is what happened to Charlie Kirk was absolutely disgusting and deplorable. And it shouldn't be the butt end of the joke or mocked. And that brings me to my last point before we get into this list. I have been getting tagged literally in thousands of videos. And some of these videos that you guys are tagging me in, I might not like or agree with, but they didn't really do anything wrong. Just because somebody doesn't like Charlie Kirk and they said, I don't feel anything for him passing, I don't care that he passed, that's not a bad thing. That's not them making fun of Charlie Kirk. They are allowed not to like Charlie Kirk. They are allowed to feel absolutely nothing about his passing. And those people, I never give a second look because they're allowed to have those feelings. But anyway, let's get into it. Lucas from Wisconsin, you're fired. Shelby from North Dakota, you've been fired. Mary from Louisiana, you've been fired. Shauna from California, fired. Andrea from California, fired. Franklin from New Jersey, terminated. And Deborah from Kansas. Yeah, your boss says you no longer work there. Thank you to all my new followers and supporters. I sincerely appreciate it. And I want to make it clear that I'm not going to these employers and demanding that these people get fired. These people are getting fired because the employer decides to let them go. All I do is being like, hey, just so you know, I saw this video that one of your employees put out, thought you might want to see it. And I do not contact the employer ever again. Whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or somebody in the middle, we can all agree that an innocent man's life was taken, and that is not funny. It's nothing to joke about. Some of us may not like what he said. Some of us may not believe in what he believes in or like his beliefs, but it doesn't warrant somebody taking his life. When is enough for us? When are we going to learn that we all come from different walks of life and there are many different beliefs out there and that that's okay? We don't always have to agree on things, but we also do not have to demonize or take the lives of people we do not share the same opinion with. If you'd like to support me further, please go to QuinnPratt5.com and order some merch. I would deeply appreciate it. If you don't want to, don't do it.
All right, so that employee from Office Depot has been fired. If you're unaware of what I'm talking about, here's a video to catch you up to speed real quick.
For somebody that passed, it's not
it's propaganda. I'm sorry, we don't put that here.
Alrighty, so what's your name?
Kirk.
I'm print supervisor.
I'm one of the managers.
Yes.
So, unfortunately,
So they say they don't print political propaganda. So this is somebody that passed away a couple years ago.
That's political propaganda, unfortunately.
So this is for a prayer tonight, for a prayer vigil?
It's still propaganda, unfortunately.
What makes it propaganda?
Because he's a political figure, and I don't have to.
Office Depot posted this like 15 minutes ago. We are deeply concerned by the incident that occurred at store 3382 in Portage, Michigan. The behavior displayed by our associate is completely unacceptable and insensitive, violates our company policies, and does not reflect the values we uphold at Office Depot. We sincerely apologize to the customer affected and to our community for this regrettable situation. Upon learning of the incident, we immediately reached out to the customer to address their concerns and seek to fulfill their order to their satisfaction. We also launched an immediate internal review, and as a result, the associate is no longer involved with the organization. We are committed to reinforcing training with all team members to ensure our standards of respect, integrity, and customer service are upheld at every location. Our customers and communities deserve nothing less. Accountability. Respect to you, Office Depot, for handling this quickly and efficiently.
But there's so many videos on TikTok, and y'all can look it up and see how many people, it's thousands that have already been fired. But I wanted to get into this big video right here on the show. You know, teacher fired after student records, her anti-Charlie Kirk rant. And, you know, people are effing around and find it out, man. You know, and huge shout out to these employers, you know, doing the right thing. And again, these people are mocking, laughing, celebrating, you know, just inhumane, man. You know, we understand the ones that are, they like, okay, this happened, you know, and they kept quiet. They don't want to mourn, you know, they disagree. And we understand, you know, they disagree with Charlie. They, you know, they didn't like this or that. And, you know, they kept quiet. They don't mourn. They're not sad. Okay. But you other ones, nah, people are not letting it slide. People are not letting that slide, man. Yep. And as you heard that lady say, even her own co-workers ratted her out. People are not gonna let it slide. Her own family members, friends ratted her out. People are not gonna let that slide, man. People are not going for it in 2025.
Channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. So just as I've been saying covering this Charlie Kirk assassination, there's all kinds of emphasis being put on the Tyler Robinson individual, the actual shooter, and obviously it makes sense why. And you'll also hear the Democrats, you know, attempting to shift blame or distance themselves from this act of terror by claiming, well, it's one crazed individual's actions. You can't tie it to us. You can't possibly do that. But absolutely we can, and we definitely should, because honestly, like I keep saying, Tyler Robinson is simply a symptom of a much larger problem. And we've spoken at length about the Democrat Party, but now it's time to again zoom out and focus on another institution that's deeply involved and might really be at the core of all of this pervasive left-wing culture of violence that dominates the world of academia from bottom to top. I'm sure you guys have seen the countless amount of literal teachers coming out publicly celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Well, you know, it's one thing to do it on your personal social media page, it's another to do it in school, in class, and that's exactly what we've got here, a secretly filmed video where a community college professor praises the Charlie Kirk shooter in her class. This is the problem, folks. The radicalism that's happening in academic institutions. Let me show you guys what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
All right, folks, so here's the first clip. We got a Greensboro, North Carolina community college professor by the name of Lisa Greenlee. Well, she was just filmed telling her students, quote, "I'll praise the shooter, he had good aim."
So, prayers and thoughts for Charlie, no, I have no prayers and thoughts for him left from all my prayers and thoughts for these innocent children who did nothing wrong. We're not sending out divisive, hateful messages. We're not saying that empathy is a problem with America. I refer to him as the anti-empathy guy.
She looked like a evil witch. Ugh, a disgrace.
I just want to make sure that y'all had heard about the school shooting, because to me that is something that is more concerning than a douchebag who brings karma down on himself. I mean, ironically, the moment he's getting shot, what is he doing? When he's asked about mass shootings, comparison to gang violence in a dismissive way, tell me that wasn't karma doing her finest work. Yeah.
See, and teachers, hey, boy, these teachers, these teachers, these professors.
I'll praise the shooter. He did a good job. He had good aim.
And this right here is exactly what I've been warning about for years. When you
She said, "I'll praise the shooter. He did a good job."
Doing her finest work. Yeah. I'll praise the shooter. He did a good job. He had good aim.
And this right here is exactly what I've been warning about for years. When you see a teacher, an actual educator, someone entrusted with shaping young minds, laughing and celebrating the assassination of an American conservative icon, you have to stop and ask, where is this coming from? And I think the answer is obvious. It's coming from the universities. And even in K-12 education, they are radicalizing the youth. And then now building on that or attributing it to the Charlie Kirk shooting incident, well, myself and many others are starting to connect the dots. We've got a clip here of the shooter with his family celebrating him receiving a scholarship to university.
Congratulations, you have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University. The value of this scholarship is approximately $32,000. This scholarship is available for 4 years or 8 semesters.
And then we've got this clip of the governor of Utah standing next to the FBI during that press conference, where he's telling us that Tyler had recently become political.
Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member
became more political and he had a trans roommate. We're just connecting the dots here. That's all.
Referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had.
And so just put the timeline together. It's a path towards radicalism. This kid grows up in what seems or what looks like a stable home, a conservative family, seemingly a normal background. If you look at all the social media posts of him and his family, it looks like a very loving family. But the moment he goes off to university, then boom, he becomes an anti-fascist murderer. That could be indication of this radicalism pipeline that I've been talking about forever. And specifically in this case, the university pipeline to radicalism. Walk on any college or university campus today, and what do you see? You'll see stickers and posters everywhere talking about Trump's fascist regime, fighting fascism. And what they mean by fascism is conservative people. You got these professors talking about Marxist revolutions, this culture of radicalizing kids into believing that they're living through some sort of genocide or fascist overtake of the country. If somebody disagrees with them, you need to rise up, do something, take action. Well, this is exactly where the seed is planted. And I think now we're seeing the fruits, which is blood on the streets. Look at the reactions of some of these college kids on campuses in response to Charlie Kirk being shot. Actually, I was going to play a montage there of a bunch of college kid interviews, but I just stumbled upon this clip, which I think is even more telling because it shows you the innate reaction. I've got footage here of a conservative speaker on a college campus engaging with students during the exact moment that Charlie Kirk was shot on a separate college campus. And when the news broke, look at the reaction from the kids.
Because I think there are...
Greg, come here. What? Greg, hold on for a second. Charlie Kirk was just shot on a college campus in Utah. Did you see what I just saw? Is it bad? Okay. Charlie Kirk was just shot at his campus in Utah. Why are you laughing? He is my friend. Your first reaction is to Charlie Kirk is a d, and you're smiling, and you laugh that my friend just got shot. You had the audacity to laugh. If you think shooting Charlie Kirk is justified because you disagree with his political opinions, you need to study your heart. Abortion culture has led to a desensitizing of our nation, where we think we can shoot political enemies and we think it's justified. Do you guys think it's justified or a good thing that Trump got shot? Did you guys laugh? Charlie was shot in the neck, by the way. And you're laughing and clapping for it. What you all did, you're laughing. So today when we were setting up, someone said, "F those babies, kill them all." That's what, and you laughed again.
They start laughing and almost cheering. They seem giddy. Think about that for a second. A man is bleeding out. His kids will never see their father again. It's a horrendous, horrific moment in American history. And these kids are laughing. They're not receiving an education. They are being brainwashed to become Antifa foot soldiers. And you see it everywhere across the Western world. I got another example here of the Oxford Union president. This guy's supposedly a bright mind who once debated Charlie Kirk. Well, if you watch that debate, I think the whole notion of him being a bright mind gets called into question almost immediately. But anyways, this is a student leader, supposedly the future of political thought coming out of Oxford University, for Pete's sake. And well, look at what they're producing.
To effectively create change in the world we desire. And Side Prop will argue that at times there is simply nothing else that can be required other than violent retaliation. And this is a view I wholeheartedly agree with. The view that some institutions are too broken, too aggressive, too oppressive to be reformed. Like cancers of our society, they must and they should be taken down by any means necessary.
An overt call to violence against conservatives. And we're now learning that that same student, the Oxford Union president, apparently was celebrating after Charlie Kirk was shot. We have a group chat message which allegedly came from that same individual, where he responds to Charlie Kirk getting shot, quote, "Charlie Kirk was shot. Let's go," with a bunch of exclamation marks. This is a student leader at a prestigious university openly celebrating a political assassination.
Charlie Kirk got shot and he puts the prayer hand emoji. I told y'all, man, these be the biggest, the worst human beings, man. The worst frauds. Put prayer emojis. They use God's name and say this the biggest fraud in any humane people ever.
And just the evil nature of it all, he came face to face with Charlie Kirk in a debate. He personally...
Real life demons, man. The most evilest people. Same ones using prayer hand emojis.
Interface with Charlie Kirk, and now he's celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder. It's inhumane. Folks, this is why Donald Trump is going hard on universities like Harvard and others, because look at what they are producing. They're not educating citizens. They're not teaching critical thought. They're producing young radical foot soldiers. They're brainwashing them into thinking that they're in some existential fight against fascism. And who do they define as fascists? You, me, Charlie Kirk, every conservative. And actually, to help put that into perspective, I've got a clip here from 2019, quite interesting, where Charlie Kirk himself is reacting to young students on college campuses labeling him a fascist before one of his speaking events.
Charlie Kirk. Yes. And why do you say that? Oh, well, seems like a... Don't you think that if you're going to, attack a guy like that, you should probably have...
I don't know. Seems like a, this was in 2019, And a lot of people feel this way, many made a switch from now to 2024, But a lot of people didn't know what they didn't like the man for. Same like with Trump, and they couldn't give you they couldn't even answer the question. Okay, then why do you hate Trump? What you don't like? They couldn't even answer it.
Some instances of things that he said that are offensive or that are racist or anything like that. Comrades. And what did they do that's fascist?
And then when they said, "Oh, well, I don't like him because he's racist, he's this, he's that," and then you'll say, "Well, okay, give us an example." They couldn't even give you an example and define their claim.
And that's racist.
Well, they are very supportive of white supremacist Donald Trump.
These people shouldn't be allowed to live.
I believe any Trump supporter is officially a fascist because he is a traitor at this point.
What did they say that's hateful and racist?
What I found to be most disheartening is that instead of actually coming in to have a conversation, they were screaming outside because it made them feel good, not because it actually did good. And I mean, this was kind of virtue signaling in real time. And unfortunately, the university administration or college professors, they weren't out actually encouraging the students to have dialogue or meaningful conversation. And Trish, what's so amazing is they couldn't even say one thing that I believe. Instead, it's just innuendo, it's open-ended insults, and it's things that are completely fake and false. And it's too bad because when you don't talk to people, then really bad things unfortunately start to happen.
I agree.
And you'll notice something interesting. None of them could explain why. They couldn't articulate a single reason as to why he was a fascist. They just repeat the slogans that their professors drilled into their heads. This is the dangerous culture that's created, and you got universities who are at the center of all of it, and Democrat politicians who feed into it. Here's Kamala Harris herself going on the record in 2024 claiming Donald Trump's a fascist.
Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And then people wonder why young radicals think they're justified in their violence. Well, when you label half the country fascistic, evil Nazis, you're basically telling these young activists, you're deluding them into thinking that they're living in 1930s Germany. And when you do that long enough, when you do it intensely enough, you see the result. The universities are out of control. They are becoming terrorist production plants, and that becomes clearer and clearer every day, and it's also becoming more and more dangerous as time goes on. Anyways, those are just my thoughts. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did,
boy, oh boy, oh boy. But hope you got some kind of joy, and this was very informative for you. You know, bringing you guys the best updates. And again, excuse my emotions and tears. And again, sometimes when I see and hear things, it's just something that triggers something, and tears just start coming out. Ever since my dad passed away, I tell you, I can't control it. You know, and it can be times where I don't even want to cry, but it just starts rolling. Just starts rolling, you know. Y'all please forgive me, okay? I love y'all, man. You know, I just can't help it, man. Send our prayers, love, and condolences once again, you know. And I hope you all have an amazing rest of your weekend. Take some time out for yourself, enjoy yourself, spend time with your loved ones. Do not take this time for granted, man. I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace and love, you guys.